Hello everyone, it is Erin Floto here today, and I am here with my A6 notebook, and I am making a garden planner. This is something that I talked about when this subscription box from December, first got released. So this is literally like the size of my hand. It is an Archer and Olive Kraft A6 planner. So basically what I'm doing here is I am making a little garden planner. So this isn't going to include things like flowers at the moment. It is only looking at fruits and vegetables and what I currently have. So I'm setting up the bare bones, if you will, for this notebook. And I decided to start with a quote page, and that quote is, "A little dirt never hurt anyone." I really enjoy gardening. It's something that I have wanted to work on a lot over the years, but for me, it's always a little bit difficult with the move, and honestly, it is costly. I know that those costs typically even out in the long run, but it is still hard, you know? So I am using my garden tools sticker kit, but I made it on craft paper instead of the white paper, since this is a craft notebook, because I didn't want the white outlines. So I decided that the craft look was better for me in this case. So I made my front page, and now I am moving on to the fruits and vegetables wish list. This doesn't have anything on it except for the header at the moment. But basically, this is something that I want to jot down for future projects. I only have so many garden beds, so right now I'm just kind of experimenting and seeing how things will work. But I want to add more, and but again, gardening is costly, so there's a lot of upfront costs. Hopefully it saves you money in the long run because you obviously are growing your own fruits and vegetables. It's also something that is a little bit more sustainable. But, you know, it does cost money upfront. So the first thing that I planted in my garden is cucumbers, which I am very thrilled about. They are one of the things that, like, it is actually growing at the moment. So I wanted to make all black and white spreads here so that the things that I'm highlighting stand out, because I know what cucumbers look like. I don't really need a picture of them so much. All of the fruits and vegetables that I'm growing, I already know what they look like. So it's just a little like page for me to, add some decoration in here. But most of the information is going to be on the second page. So we have when it was planted, when it needs to be harvested, notes related to the growing cucumbers, if they need to be in partly sunny or sunny, blah blah blah. And then other tips. So for example, if there's certain fertilizers, or if there are certain watering schedules and things like that I want to keep in mind. The next thing I have in my garden is radishes. Again, this one is actually growing. There are a couple of these that don't seem to be taking well. So, I don't know what I'm going to do if those things aren't in my garden anymore. Like if I decide to try something else in that section. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. Maybe just put a sad face at the bottom of the page that I'm drawing on and be like, no, it didn't work. I'm sorry. So we have the picture of my radishes here. And then again, I'm going through and I'm putting planted harvest, the notes, and tips for growing these things. Now, if any of you are growing these items that I am also growing in my garden, please let me know any tips that you have based on your experience. Because right now, I don't have a lot of experience growing items. The only thing that I've ever grown well And I mean this in the way that I have only ever tried this. I haven't been able to try a vegetable garden before. So the only thing I've done well before is herbs. I am very good at growing herbs. And in fact, I have a giant like mint field because mint spreads like wildfire. And I actually have to figure that out because where I have my green onions, the mint is trying to overtake that, and it's extremely like, I don't know if I want to call it invasive, but it is very invasive. Like it grows everywhere once it starts spreading. So that is something that I need to figure out. So if you have tips and tricks for that as well, I would really appreciate it. So this is kind of the basics of what I have planned for my garden planner. I didn't want to do anything like trackers or anything like that because I find that it's more helpful for me personally to do that on my phone through an app. So, one of the things that I wanted to do in my garden is really like kind of get a vision of what I want to do in the future. So, I will probably do like a garden layout page at some point. Once I like start growing more things. Right now, I only have 4 garden beds, and then I have a place for herbs. And I do have other locations that I can put things. For example, I have a giant pot outside that is where a tomato plant was, so I'm gonna replant the tomato plant. I also forgot to include strawberries now that I'm thinking about it in this setup. And the tomatoes that I plan to change. So anyways, that is my A6 setup. Thank you so much for joining me. Please don't mind that I just got a phone call from my mortgage company, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.